Today's case is all about Lisa Renee Irwin, who was 10 months old at the time of her disappearance. She was born November 11, 2010, in Independence, Missouri. Her parents are mother Deborah Bradley and father Jeremy Irwin, who both had a child, a son from previous relationships. So Lisa would be their first child together. Lisa was named after Deborah's mother, who sadly passed away when Deborah was very young, at the age of 15. Deborah recalled the moment Lisa was born as a bittersweet moment. The birth was going naturally and well until Lisa's heartbeat suddenly dropped and Deborah was rushed into having an emergency C-section as Lisa's umbilical cord was wrapped around her throat. So I can only imagine the fear that both these parents went through. This unfortunately wouldn't be the last scare Deborah and Jeremy would have with Lisa in this lifetime. It was Monday, October 3rd, 2011. It was a normal day. Deborah and Jeremy spent the day doing their normal routines. Jeremy spent the day working at his day job as an electrician and returned home at around 2:30 p.m. Once Jeremy was home, he spent some time at home with baby Lisa and her half-brothers, who were about 8 and 5 at the time. Deborah stepped out for a short time to run some errands with her brother, Philip Netz. There is surveillance footage of Deborah and her brother buying a box of wine, paper plates, and napkins at around 4:30 p.m. and returning back home at 5 p.m. Once returning home, Deborah's brother Philip departed, and 30 minutes later, Jeremy left again to work at Starbucks as an electrical contractor, which he initially didn't expect to last very long. However, it did, and Jeremy would not return home until 3:45 a.m. the following day. When Jeremy returned, he instantly felt concerned, as once opening the front door, he noticed it was unlocked. Once entering the home, he noticed the lights were left on. Jeremy made his way to his and Deborah's bedroom, where he found Deborah sleeping safely with their 2 sons. Then Jeremy went to check on baby Lisa and found her crib empty, and Lisa nowhere to be found in her bedroom. Jeremy did notice that a front window that's located in their computer room was left open as well. Jeremy woke Deborah up and asked her where Lisa was, but to Deborah's knowledge, Lisa should have been in her crib, as she placed her to sleep early at 6:30 p.m. because Lisa was feeling unwell. She had a cold and was restless. The last time Deborah checked on her was at 10:30 p.m. It quickly became clear that Lisa was missing. Deborah recalls being frantic and urged Jeremy to call 911 to report Lisa missing at 4 a.m. in the morning on October 4th, 2011. This was a very odd thing to happen in such a safe neighborhood. Up until then, the neighborhood didn't fear anything, and kids always played safe on the street. But now, with Lisa disappearing, parents were on guard. How could this have happened? The computer window was located in the front part of the house, so whoever took baby Lisa, if the entry was through the window, they would have had to walk through the kitchen to get to her room and possibly leave with Lisa through the front door, as it was left unlocked. Or possibly the intruder could have entered through the front door since it was found unlocked. Shortly, a few hours later, an Amber Alert was placed and authorities began knocking on neighbors' doors. They even had helicopters patrolling the area for any sightings of Lisa. They had over 100 law enforcement and the Salvation Army volunteers participating in this search for baby Lisa. Not only were they searching for Lisa with neighbors, but they also searched rivers and wooded areas that were at least 2 miles within range of the Irwin's home. From the start, Deborah and Jeremy were very cooperative with authorities. Jeremy's whereabouts was confirmed that he was working at Starbucks during the time he claimed. This would leave Deborah as the primary caregiver for that evening. Deborah stated that she was certain that she checked on Lisa at 10:30 p.m. Upon further investigation, Jeremy and Deborah discovered that 3 of their cell phones were missing. These cell phones were located on the kitchen counter and all 3 were gone. The Irwin family relocated from their home soon after Lisa's disappearance to allow authorities to conduct a more thorough investigation. Authorities conducted an experiment of entering the Irwin's home by the window, as the theory was that's how the suspect may have gained entry into the home. However, authorities stated that it was very difficult climbing through the window. Authorities had to boost each other and slam their legs against the window, making a lot of noise. Cadaver dogs were used as well. Authorities did conduct intense interviews with both parents and Lisa's half-brothers who were present. Authorities state that the interview with baby Lisa's half-brothers went very well and nothing came from the interviews. 2 weeks later, Deborah changed her story as to when she last saw baby Lisa. While Jeremy was working at Starbucks, Deborah ended up having a play date with her next-door neighbor, Samantha Brando, who had a 4-year-old daughter. Their kids got along great and enjoyed playing together. While Deborah placed Lisa in her crib to sleep at about 6:40 p.m., Samantha headed to make a quick trip to the store to purchase liquor for herself and returned back by 7 p.m. The kids played together while Deborah and Samantha enjoyed catching up while they smoked cigarettes and drank in front of the house. By 10:30 p.m., Deborah told Samantha that she was ready for bed as she consumed a lot of alcohol that made her intoxicated, so Samantha left. The last time Deborah saw baby Lisa was at 6:40 p.m. when she placed her down in her crib, and that she possibly checked on Lisa at 10:30 p.m. Deborah said that she didn't tell the truth of when she last saw baby Lisa at first because she was afraid of getting arrested and that the search for Lisa would come to a halt. Since the start, Deborah and Jeremy have advocated for Lisa by participating in searches, agreeing to interviews with authorities, and allowing interviews with news reports to gain more coverage on Lisa, regardless of the change of the story. On October 19, 2011, authorities used cadaver dogs that provided authorities with suspicion. The dogs picked up decomposed scent located near the bed of Irwin's bedroom. However, cadaver dogs aren't always reliable. According to Irwin's attorney, during a news conference, he made claims that Lisa's parents were suspects, specifically Deborah. However, the Kansas City Police Department denied these claims that they were considered suspects and that they didn't have any suspects. On February 3, 2012, Deborah, Jeremy, and their attorney appeared on an episode of Dr. Phil where they continued to share details on their ongoing search for Lisa. At first, Deborah and Jeremy were both cooperative with authorities and agreed to take a polygraph, as they always had stated that they had nothing to do with the disappearance. Deborah states that she was told by authorities, but never shown written results, that she failed a polygraph test during questioning, and that she was accused of taking a role in Lisa's disappearance. Deborah's and Jeremy's attorney has stated on the episode that this is false and that he was never told that she failed a polygraph test or shown any results. It is believed that Deborah was told that she failed a polygraph test as a tactic from authorities to try and have Deborah confess to the involvement of Lisa's disappearance.
Became obvious investigators suspected Lisa's mother.
Did you fail a lie detector test?
No, absolutely not. I was told I failed as a tactic, and I understand why they do that.
It's still difficult to talk to them. It's difficult to hear some of their theories, and then after all that is all said and done, you still have to have a workable relationship with these guys down there at the police department.
Jeremy and Deborah strongly denied that they had any participation in the disappearance of 10-month-old Lisa. Jeremy even has stated that there is no question in his mind that doubts Deborah's innocence. He states, quote, "No, there's no question to be had there. I know who she is. I know the kind of mother she is." Quote. As stated before, Deborah and Jeremy's sons were interviewed as well, but no leads came from these interviews. However, I did find an article that states Bill Stanton, who is a New York private detective that was hired by Jeremy and Deborah and is their spokesman, shared that one of the boys did hear a tapping noise during the hours in question of Lisa's disappearance. Throughout the investigation, authorities did receive hundreds of tips that could possibly support the theory that Lisa was abducted from her crib. A tip that authorities gained was that there was a teenage neighbor who was present in the Irwins' home on October 3rd, and he had access to the code of the garage door. Though this lead led nowhere and was quickly ruled out, in addition to the investigation, it's been revealed that a 50-second phone call was placed on one of the cell phones missing to a woman named Megan Wright. Megan has come forward with an interview with Good Morning America and claims that she did not have her phone with her and has no awareness to who answered it or know who was calling. A person that became a person of interest was a man named John Tango with a criminal record that worked as a handyman near the Irwins' home. John Tango had a relationship with Megan Wright, whose number was called from the Irwins' missing cell phone. However, after questioning from the police, they ruled out John Tango. Once this news was released to the public of this tip, a male witness came forward and claimed that the person who may have answered the phone was a drifter named Dane, who was living with Megan. It's reported that there were several people living at this residence. This anonymous witness claims that he noticed Dane on the phone always hunched privately in the corner and says that he does not believe Dane would be involved in the abduction of Lisa, but possibly capable of covering up for someone else. The Kansas City Police Department states that they were looking into this tip, but that Dane was not a person of interest. There were two other witnesses that came forward that witnessed a man carrying a baby down the street from where the Irwin's family lived, and there was a surveillance video that showed a man leaving a wooded area, dressed in white, at approximately 2:30 a.m., which is a very abnormal time to be hanging in the wooded area. Another witness, Mike Thompson, told ABC News that he was on his way home from work at around 4 a.m. when he crossed paths with a man in a t-shirt carrying a baby about 3 miles away from the Irwin's home. Mike thought that this was a very unusual time in 45-degree weather to have a baby outside without a coat. Mike thought about offering a ride to this man and the baby, but couldn't because he was on a motorcycle, which wouldn't be appropriate or safe. Mike did stop his motorcycle, and he and the man looked at each other. Mike described the man as approximately 5'7" feet tall, between 140 to 150 pounds, and possibly in his late 30s or early 40s. Mike was eventually shown a lineup of photos of the possible male he had seen and was able to identify the man in the lineup. Another couple that lived 3 houses down from the Irwin family came forward and shared a similar sighting of a man in a t-shirt carrying a baby, and it looked like the baby had no clothes on and only a diaper on. Even though they had witnesses that identified the man, other witnesses that witnessed this sighting were unable to identify the man in a lineup. So due to this conflicting failed identification, police weren't able to confirm a suspect, and again, this lead went nowhere. On the same day, there was a report of a dumpster on fire with flames that were several feet high. When authorities searched the dumpsters, they found burnt clothes, but these were not the clothes that Lisa disappeared in. Lisa was last wearing purple pants and a purple shirt with kittens on them. Authorities checked landfills, but there was no sign of the clothing or Lisa. Approximately 1 month after Lisa's disappearance, Jeremy Irwin reported that his debit card was stolen and fraudulently used on a British website that provides legal services name changes for an adult or child's name. A charge of $69.04 was used. Authorities did conduct a routine investigation on this incident, but it appears that nothing came from this incident. In 2013, there were tips sent in of a young girl named Maria who was discovered from a Roma settlement that was suspected of drug trafficking. Maria was found peeking out from under a blanket in a small town in Roma. Authorities were suspicious of the well-being of this young girl because of her skin complexion not matching the 2 adults claiming to be her parents. This discovery gave hope that it could possibly be Lisa, as the child had some features that resembled Lisa's age progress photos. However, this tip turned out to not be Lisa, as the girl was confirmed to be older and her biological mother was identified. The biological mother of Maria said she left behind a baby in Greece while working as an olive picker and was not financially able to care for the child and gave the baby away. Once the DNA confirmed that the 2 adults that Maria was found with were not her parents, they were charged with abduction and document fraud. More than a decade has gone by, and there's still no suspects publicly shared, and Lisa remains an active missing person. Deborah and Jeremy believe that whoever took Lisa was surveilling the house and saw that Jeremy was out and possibly could have seen Deborah at the front of the house with her friend and saw a crime of opportunity. Deborah and Jeremy have hopes that one day Lisa will come home, or Lisa herself will one day make the discovery of what happened to her and make contact. Jeremy and Deborah submitted theirs and both their sons' DNA in databases in hopes that one day a match will occur. They believe that Lisa is alive today and possibly being raised to adults who wanted a child of their own. Deborah and Jeremy continuously advocate for Lisa's whereabouts, and based on interview videos, it's really hard to believe that they could have been involved. They continuously search for their missing daughter and remain hopeful that one day they will be reunited with Lisa.
I know you guys both firmly believe Lisa is alive and Lisa is out there.
Absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind. And I'm her mom. I have my mother's intuition, and I have never once felt for a second that she is been hurt or gone.
As the years went on, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released several age progress photos of Lisa on what she could possibly look like throughout the years. Lisa has a birthmark on her right thigh and was last seen wearing purple pants and a purple shirt with kittens on it. As of 2023, Lisa would be 12 years old, and there is a possibility that she is enrolled in school. There is a $100,000 reward offered to anyone who has information of the whereabouts of Lisa Irwin. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Lisa Renee Irwin, you are encouraged to contact the Kansas City Police Department at 816-474-8477. I'd love to hear your feedback, theories, questions that you may still have. Comment if there's any possible information that I may have missed, as I did my very best to conduct a deep research. A kind reminder to please be mindful of negative comments, as these are real people's lives. All I want to do is bring light to cases that are not always talked about and advocate for victims and their families. I truly hope that Lisa is found safe and the family can have closure. Until the next case, please stay safe and always spread kindness.